Well, our next guest, a top California Democrat, has plenty to say about his state's policies and the Trump administration's fight against them. But where does he stand on the president's decision to send troops to the border? Let's ask him all about that, bringing in Congressman John Garamendi. Good to see you tonight, sir.
My pleasure to be with you.
All right, so let's talk about this growing issue of a number of localities there in California saying they want to push back against what the state has done with respect to allowing private employers, local law enforcement to cooperate with ICE. I want to play a little bit of what we heard from the Escondido mayor. He joined us last night. He's inside that meeting now. Here's what he said.
I'm very, very pleased that we're pushing back against this golden state that is no longer a golden state. It's just a sanctuary place for poverty, for homeless, for illegal immigration, for sanctuary.
Congressman, what do you make of his assessment of that's where your state stands today?
Well, we certainly know that SB 54 was controversial as it went through the California legislature. The governor had problems with earlier versions of the bill and ultimately signed SB 54. The controversy didn't end with the signing of it. Obviously, there's a lawsuit underway as to whether it is constitutional under the federal Constitution. We'll see what happens. Amicus briefs are about as common as the weather changes. They're filed all the time by different organizations. In this case, the city of Escondido may very well file one, and other cities also, in support, in opposition. So we'll see all of that play out. The really important thing here is that we really do deal with a comprehensive immigration reform, which frankly has not been before the Congress for 5 years. 5 years ago, the U.S. Senate did pass a bipartisan, comprehensive immigration reform, and unfortunately, the Speaker of the House at that time, John Boehner, would not allow that to even be heard in a committee. So this crisis continues up and down over time. And now, once again, we have a president that wants to send National Guards members to the border. I will say for California, and I thought you were going to ask me what Jerry Brown was thinking, and that's an impossible task, one that I wouldn't even attempt to do. But we do know that we have about 55 National Guard members permanently at the border. They rotate in and out. They do a variety of tasks. Their eyes and ears, some construction activities, some training programs and the like. So they've been there for years now and paid for by the federal government.
Right. And we know that it's happened with multiple presidents, Republicans and Democrats alike. This is what the president says in his memorandum officially calling for the move of these troops. He says, the situation at the border has now reached a point of crisis. The lawlessness that continues at our southern border is fundamentally incompatible with the safety, security, and the sovereignty of the American people. My administration has no choice but to act. He's talked about, and the Attorney General today also talked about how this is now on Congress. You've talked about that as well. Both of these administration figures pointing to you all and saying you've got to get something done. We know the last group of 4 packages that were an attempt to do something about DACA in the Senate, none of them could get to the 60-vote threshold to get moving. So what happens next?
Well, we'll continue trying to. Those bills were principally about the DACA situation. And Senator Schumer offered $25 billion for border security, including a significant number of miles of fences and walls. That was a straight-up DACA. And then the Trump administration, together with some of the Republicans, began adding riders to that proposal, which were simply not acceptable, not only to Democrats, but also to Republicans. I think there are only 39 Republicans that ultimately voted for what was on the floor of the Senate. So if we had a clean DACA and money for a wall or for border security, it would undoubtedly pass, and it certainly would pass the House of Representatives and would pass with my support. One thing to keep in mind as we look at these the presidential declaration, there seem to be 2 things that occur here simultaneously. One is an increased interest about border security and the advent of a very difficult midterm election for the president's party. 2006, that's exactly what happened. There was nearly well over 1 million illegal cross-border crossings at that time. It was also an election year, very difficult for President Bush, and now 2010 with Barack Obama, the same situation.
Right.
And here we are once again. That's not to say there isn't a problem, but there is a coincidence here of a tough midterm election coinciding with send troops to the border.
And sometimes that's what sparks a conversation and possibly gets something moving on the Hill. Congressman, we know you've been a part of those conversations. Thank you for joining us tonight. Always good to see you.